Hey guys, this is Chetan for Gizmo Times, and you're watching a quick overview comparison of the Realme X with the Vivo Z1 Pro. Both are the latest phones from the companies, and they have quite a lot to offer for the price at which they are launched. And in the mid-range pricing, these seem to be right now some of the best phones among some of the best phones. Starting with the design, both of them would offer a plastic back. It's not a glass back, and these designs are usually prone to scratching and also fingerprints and smudges. No difference that way. So if you're someone who's looking for a better designed phone, actually you might have to look at how they look, and rather than how they are going to have with the how they are going to be with the build quality. Here it's going to be a gradient kind of design, but not so much when compared to what the Vivo Z1 Pro is offering, because here the Vivo Z1 Pro actually offers that straight gradient design with the vertical lines showing up when you project it against the light. So that's one difference. With the display, there is quite a lot of difference here. If you talk about the display here, firstly the Realme X is going to have a 6.53-inch display with the AMOLED display technology here. But on the other side, the Vivo Z1 Pro has the same screen size. It doesn't have any smaller or larger display, but it's an IPS LCD display, not an AMOLED one. So that's one major difference. And also the resolution stays the same. It's 1080 to 2340 pixels on both of them, and the aspect ratio as well is the same. But on the display you see there's that in-display camera that is present here, while on the other side the Vivo Z1 Pro has a full display, that is the full view display, because of the fact that the camera has gone to the top. That's a motorized pop-up camera for the selfie camera, and so you have a full view for the display. While on the other side, if you notice the other thing, the chin is a bit similar here, and it seems a little smaller on the Vivo Z1 Pro, though there is not a huge difference, but that was something worth a mention here. Otherwise, the display is actually looking good on both of them, but obviously I would say that AMOLED always is better with the colors, so that should be the case here as well with the Realme X. Now with the power that they come with, so it's actually the same generation of chipsets, that Snapdragon 710 on the Realme X, while it's Snapdragon 712 on the Vivo Z1 Pro. So 710 versus 712, there's not a huge difference, only with the clock speeds they differ. It's 2.2 gigahertz on the 710 and it's 2.3 gigahertz on the 712. So this is a bit faster, the Vivo Z1 Pro. But again, in the real life usage, we have seen these two to offer almost the same exact performance. And even with the benchmarks, let's check out the scores here, what the phones have got. So this is the benchmark score for the Vivo Z1 Pro, and that in comparison to the one on Realme X is quite high, because the Realme X has got a score of about 1,55,000, and that is actually lesser compared to the Vivo Z1 Pro's 1,83,000. And the other score that is the Geekbench score, it's 1480 and 5914 on the Realme X. On the other side, it's 1920 and 5970 for the Geekbench score on the Vivo Z1 Pro. So in a way, the Vivo Z1 Pro actually has better scores for the benchmarks, but in real life usage we haven't seen much of a difference. And even with the gaming, they both have been offering the same quality of graphics on games like PUBG Mobile. There's no difference at all. So I would say that with performance, 710 and 712 are really no different. They are almost the same. With the variants that are offered here, there's a huge variety of variants from 4GB RAM 64GB storage to 8GB RAM 128GB storage on the Realme X. On the other side, the Vivo Z1 Pro has 6GB and 128GB. There's no 8GB option on the Vivo Z1 Pro. But one advantage that the Vivo Z1 Pro offers over the Realme X is the fact that it has a microSD card slot. There is no microSD card slot on this Realme X, and that is one disadvantage of this phone over the Vivo Z1 Pro or most of the phones in this price range, because most of them offer that expandable storage, some of them with a hybrid slot, some of them with a dedicated one, but here there's no slot at all for expanding the storage. Now moving on to one of those major aspects where these two phones differ, and also this is going to be one of those very important aspects, it's the cameras. And here you can see that the Realme X has a IMX586 sensor, that's 48 megapixel f1.7 aperture lens sensor camera, and there's a 5 megapixel depth sensor as well. On the other side, while the Vivo Z1 Pro doesn't have that Sony IMX586 sensor, it's an f1.8 16 megapixel camera that is present here, and above that is that 8 megapixel f2.2 wide angle camera, which is not present on the Realme X, and that should be an advantage for the Vivo Z1 Pro over the Realme X, because of the fact that you can take ultra wide shots without having to take any panorama shots, because the camera itself is going to do that job for you. There's a third camera, that's the 2MP camera given here for the depth sensing. So for the depth sensing, I would say Realme has a better camera, but in the end, the wide angle camera here should be quite a good help for users who want to capture wide angle shots. That's the scenic shots, and otherwise, if you want to do that with the Realme X, you could do only with the panorama captures. For the selfies, you can obviously see one difference here, that there's no selfie camera on the display area. It's on the top, so that is this pop-up camera that shows up here. And the quality of this selfies here seems to be quite good. And this is the Realme X selfie camera that is present as a pop-up one. On the other side, the Vivo Z1 Pro has its camera over here. That's the in-display camera. And the Vivo Z1 Pro has the 32 megapixel selfie camera with the f2.0 aperture, and the quality here as well is quite good. And we have been liking the selfie cameras on both of them actually. And in a way, I would say that frankly, I like the way the naturality was seen on the Realme X. But again, these are totally artificial light conditions, not natural ones. So obviously we'll be doing a separate camera comparison. There you can see how these two differ. But here it's actually seeming to be a better resolution camera on the Vivo Z1 Pro with a 32 megapixel selfie camera. On the other side, this is the 16 megapixel f2.0 camera on the Realme X. So this is the difference with the selfie camera. With the rear camera, obviously there are quite a lot of modes on both the phones, and there's 4K video recording supported on both with 30 FPS. Also EIS support for the 1080p videos at 30 FPS. And that ends the camera quick comparison of the camera here. We'll be doing a full-fledged camera comparison if you're someone interested in learning which one has a better camera combination. And with the battery, this phone comes with a 3765 mAh battery, which actually is quite lesser than the 5000 mAh battery that powers the Vivo Z1 Pro. So in this case, a complete winner this Vivo Z1 Pro is going to be. But with fast charging, you'll be actually surprised with the results that both the phones have got. This has an 18-watt fast charging, the dual engine fast charge. On the other side, the Realme X has a 20-watt fast charging, that is the VOOC 3.0 flash charge, and obviously that is going to give it a faster charge. It actually charged it lesser than 90 minutes, and that took about 2 hours 20 minutes. With that difference of the charge speeds as well as with the difference of the battery capacity, 3765 mAh versus 5000 mAh, you obviously know which one would charge faster. But the fact that it has a 5000 mAh battery, the Vivo Z1 Pro obviously is going to give you a longer battery life. And one difference is with the in-display fingerprint sensor that is present on the display on the Realme X. On the other side, the Vivo Z1 Pro has a fingerprint sensor on the back of the device. And it's totally dependent on your choice, because the performance of both the fingerprint sensors is quite good. But if you're someone who actually likes something that is new and fresh in this world of technologies, you should opt for this one because it actually works well and it also seems cool. So this is the Realme X having the in-display fingerprint sensor. And one difference to end it would be again with the USB port given here. It's USB Type-C on the Realme X, and it's the micro USB on the Vivo Z1 Pro. Also, the speakers output is louder on the Realme X when compared to the Vivo Z1 Pro. So this was a quick comparison of these two phones. The Realme X has its own set of advantages, something like that in-display fingerprint sensor, the Sony IMX586 sensor, the motorized pop-up camera, but it would be easily beaten by the Vivo Z1 Pro with its battery life, the 5000 mAh battery that is offering something better here, and also the 32 megapixel selfie camera that offers quite a good quality of selfies, a better resolution for selfies, and the wide angle camera on the back for the panoramic shots. So that is it with the quick comparison of the Vivo Z1 Pro and the Realme X smartphone. I hope you like this video. If you do share and subscribe to Gizmo for more. Thanks for watching and see you in our next video.